We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
It's Throwback, baby.
Waltrip's making the outside work. That is Austin McDaniel. Bobby Allison, a.k.a. Bradley McCaskill, stuck in that one. There's Robert Huffman, or his son Landon, might be a more appropriate description. Along with Ron Orday Jr. in the black 2 car, otherwise known as Cody Haskins. This is Mark Garrow joining us here on CARS Tour TV from the Performance Racing Network. Glad to have Mark around, an avid short track fan.
I still have my jacket someplace. I mean, you guys really did it right. You really did. You really did. I walked in and I go like, oh my gosh, this is Myrtle Beach TNN booth. Good night.
Yeah, right? Look at that. The Earnhardt car, the Wallace car, Kowicki, and all those. And there was the Earnhardt car. There's the Dick Trickle car.
Comes out of the race car, Tate Fogelman. Here he comes, a first-time CARS Late Model Stock Tour winner. Justin Carroll is in Elbrock Victory Lane. Here he comes, out of the race car. Brandon Setzer is a winner here at Hickory. Here he comes, out of the car. Josh Berry is a winner yet again in CARS Tour competition.
All right, we're back with the CARS Tour Report. Going to try something a little different this week. Normally we do the post-race deal with Chris Ragle. We've got Chris on the line again this week, heading into, in my opinion, the biggest race of the season for the CARS Tour. I know we had the $30,000 to win race, back at Orange County earlier in the year, but the throwback race at Hickory Motor Speedway this weekend, to me, is the biggest race for the CARS Tour. Chris, first off, welcome to the show, and second, do you disagree with me on that?
No, it's good to be back. A little different. I like the pre-race thing, so that's pretty cool. I say this: the Old North State Nationals is the biggest race on the CARS Tour schedule, and the Throwback 276 is the biggest event on the CARS Tour schedule, because it's an event is the way we look at it. Everything, not just so much of it is really maybe not is done. That's stuff outside the green and checkered flag. So I think this is the biggest event for the CARS Tour.
I'd say that's a fair assessment. I'll give you a point on that one. You tell people what, because most of the work you guys put into this event, nobody sees. You know what I mean? They see the end result, but they don't see the work that goes into it. So kind of give us an idea of when you start on this race and what the process is for you and the racers to get ready to have such a big event.
Well, the core of it probably starts about 3 months before the race. So it's always the first week of August. So come right at June, we kind of start paying attention a little bit towards getting those celebrities, those honorees scheduled, and that's always kind of a challenging thing because they have so much going on, or they're involved with racing still, right, or whatever, they may have it, or they check back with them when it's a little sooner. So that's a large part of it. We always use the current year to maybe talk to folks, and because it brings a lot of people out to prepare for the next year and how we can improve and what we want to do. But it's every bit of the true event readiness probably starts about 3 months out, and it's reaching out to competitors and reaching out to those celebrities and getting with the track and some of our sponsors, on programs and some of the bonus awards, and it's a lot to kind of get into it. And then within 2 weeks, 3 weeks of the actual event, it's chaos. It's everybody is doing the schemes, and I'm trying to get the honorees, make sure they have schemes, and then we go into the market, and we're just doing it old school style, throwback promotion, and hanging posters and hanging banners, and me and myself and Keeley, we did that, just covering about a 50-mile radius of Hickory Motor Speedway. And I don't think there's many gas stations and auto parts and places and things like that that's in a 50-mile radius that doesn't have a poster and sign in it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. As far as the schemes themselves go, what's the process for the racers? I mean, do you guys kind of have that really organized? Do you know about all of them ahead of time? Do they kind of play it off of you guys, or does sometimes they just kind of pop up out of the blue?
Well, it's the first thing kind of that we do is we have some pretty good graphic partners that not taking one away from another company or not, but Graphic Solutions, GSX Wraps, Graphics Unlimited, and One Design Wraps, and Mincy's this year are just a few of them that we've seen, but they kind of will work with us and work with the teams in order to accomplish this. So that's probably the first start of it. And then we communicate with the teams to ensure that they will send those schemes to us and for approval. And it's not necessarily I want you to do this one and not that one. Right. It's more so of I don't want to have two guys show up with the same scheme. Right. Because then I think that would look kind of idiotic. But
right.
So that's more the process of sending it to us and going through it. We don't have a time period or a theme per se. We've kind of got an idea already of some ideas for the throwback race next year in 2020 that might have a little bit more of a theme. But we kind of let the teams run with it and do what they want, because there is so in the region we're in, there's so many different connections through racing the past, late
right.
models, NASCAR, everything else it might be that really touches a lot of people, I guess, in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure a lot of different people are connected to Cup teams and different people throughout the year. So that definitely makes it interesting. I know today you guys put out Mini Tyrells. Of course, he's got a connection to Jeff Gordon, so he's running the Rainbow Warriors scheme. That's a pretty cool looking car.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, and I think that was obviously his favorite driver. For me, he was my favorite driver personally, kind of growing up a little bit. So, I can see a lot of us, younger people. I mean, he's obviously significantly younger than I am, but that's a scheme that instantly brings back memories and kind of watching the sport being from Texas, being pretty far away from late model stocks and short track racing. That's a scheme that probably brings a lot of memories personally.
Yeah.
But we've got I like a good balance of late model stuff as well as NASCAR stuff, and getting ready to put one out here in just a little bit. Charlie Watson's going to kind of keep it local and do Max Presswood's 1995 track championship scheme. So that's awesome. Really cool to see those local guys honored too, with a fellow local guy.
Yeah, that's something that everybody who has been an old school race fan of Hickory Motor Speedway is going to instantly recognize. So that's good for the local fan base for sure. And
we try to do that too with the celebrities we bring. We really try to make a conscious effort to have we usually bring about 6 or 7. So we try to get 3 NASCAR or Hall of Fame type NASCAR people that would be easily recognized, and then we'd like to get a local flair Dennis Setzer was one of those this year. Obviously, he's a huge local success from the Hickory area and track champion and everything like that. And then we got Billy Hess, that kind of shows our heritage of where we came from on the Hooters Pro Cup side of things.
Right.
I mean, he was the man when it came to building Pro Cup cars.
Absolutely.
Back in the day.
No doubt about that. Definitely, you guys have got some good ones. Of course, Ernie Irvin, going to be one of them. His son going to be racing paint scheme of his from back in the day, the Morgan McClure days. That's a really cool deal to have. That kind of combination there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's Coulter, Randy Renfro. They were all about it. So it's pretty cool to see these guys do it. And like I say, we're just in a unique place at a unique track that I don't think the short track event throwback could be replicated anywhere else besides like what we're doing here at Hickory.
Absolutely, I agree with you, and it's the perfect venue because it still looks like it did 100 years ago. So
I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but yes, you're right. So yes, it does. There's crazy. I see a lot of photos and a lot of pictures. I've seen the photo of Max Presswood 95, and I'm watching old Busch Series races, and you're right, man. It's the tire at the end of pit wall, so you don't hit the end of pit wall and turn forward. It's the exact same tire that was in those broadcasts on TNN are still here today, probably same tire.
It's amazing. It's amazing that everything there, and yes, it's a little more, I guess, run down than say a Motor Mile or South Boston or somewhere like that. But it's amazing that the facility as it is has stood the test of time. It's still standing there for the test of time is one way to put it for sure. I mean, we had a great schedule and Hickory's kind of that old place and things like that. You'd like to kind of see a place like that get some upgrades, but still keep its heritage and things like that. Obviously we race there another time, and when it's not throwback, you're kind of wishing it was a little bit more modern. So, but overall, it's cool to walk into a facility and especially the older guys that are way past me and say, hey, it's the same place, same characteristics that it did 25, 30, 40 years ago. You also couldn't have a better racetrack to put a race on for the throwback. I mean, as far as the surface and the way the cars race and everything there. I mean, Hickory Motor Speedway doesn't get much more exciting than the way those guys race there.
No, the racing's awesome, and it's just really I encourage everyone and kind of gets me excited is go on YouTube and watch some of those old Busch Grand National races there and see that and the racing is just as good as it was then and it just kind of gets you excited that some of our biggest compliments, whether it was Orange County, Old North State, or this race is we hadn't seen a crowd, or the crowd hadn't been behind it except like back in the Busch days in the 80s and early 90s. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I think you'll see a great race. Know, obviously you'll see a lot of the schemes and colors and things like that, but the racing will be good at Hickory.
Absolutely. I know you're expecting a great crowd Saturday. Got a little bit of weather. I'm sure you guys are keeping an eye on. Tell us what you're thinking there and what the plan is.
Yeah, it's kind of Monday. We don't really look at anything until Thursday because the weather here in the Carolinas definitely changes a lot. But
right.
Last year we had some weather as well, and same policy that we had a year ago will be in place. And this is a unique race, unique situations with these schemes. If something were to happen that we can't get it in Saturday, we would run Sunday midday. If we can't do it Sunday, then we'd run Monday night. So it's just one of those things. And if for some reason Monday night, we would go Tuesday. So it's a unique situation. I've got a pretty different contingent. I've got competitors on the super side coming as far south as Miami, Florida. Pretty good contingent out of Florida coming, and these guys making their paint schemes and these cars and everything that we have planned. It's just one of those things that we're going to race this weekend or in the next week or so, put it that way.
Right. Is any of these guys that are coming from out of town on the super side, any of those guys participating with throwback schemes, or are they just coming to race?
Yeah, so they are. I'm still kind of talking to them and getting to. It's just kind of been a flood. One of them that we talked to is Hooters Pro Cup Billy Bingley. His son's coming up from Florida. He's not going to do the full scheme, but he's running kind of the old style numbers that his dad ran in the Pro Cup series. So that'll be a cool to see guys like that.
Right.
And I'm just trying to think off the top of my head that of other people that are coming that are another name that's Carson Quaffle. He'll be a part of it. He's in the Kawiki development program, so he's been mainly racing while he lives here. His majority of his super racing has been done in the Midwest Tour this year, and same as last year. So he'll be there, and I know he's kind of doing a Kawiki scheme, I mean, past that, some of them I probably know if you said or whatever, but
right.
Man, it's just been a flood of them all at one time. Sometimes they run together.
Right, I understand completely. Speaking of the super side of things, they've participated a little bit less, in the throwback scheme last couple of years. Seeing an increase in that. I mean, I know everybody wants to do it. I know it's a increased cost that keeps some from doing it, but are you seeing much of a uptick there?
Yeah, I would say we definitely seeing it's more late model stock, but still we still got a core pretty. I would think half the field on the super side will probably have it.
Nice.
So you're looking at 12 to 15, which is still solid. On the late model stock, you'll probably see about somewhere around that 20 range. So if you're 12 to 15 and 20 there, I think we had about 25 last year. Throwback schemes, I feel like we'll see an uptick to about 30 this year. That's that's success. That's continued drive forward that we see and improvement. And we want guys to do the scheme, and some guys don't do the scheme but dress the part, and
right.
We want everybody to do schemes for sure, because that makes the event, I think it. But having them at the event is what counts the most, and I think because of being a promoter and promoting the event is why they're coming for sure. I mean, we don't normally get 3 or 4 guys from middle to South Florida to come to a race, so they're coming because it's a big event.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And of course, the event happens this Saturday. Of course, we talked about the weather thing, but scheduled to happen this Saturday. Tickets are still available, I assume, on CARSRacingTour.com.
Yeah, so the only suites are sold out, trackside parking sold out, so all that's sold out. So what is just left are your 2 ticket options. Like I said, you can go on CARSRacingTour.com. They're 20 advance, 25 at the gate. And so those are your single tickets. Kids 12 and under free, 13 and older will need a ticket. And then we also have the Throwback 276 Mega Pack, where it's a pit pass, ticket, throwback hat, throwback shirt, and the throwback paint scheme poster, all for $76 there. So
yeah, that's an awesome deal.
So we get a couple of those options there, but yeah, if a lot of folks like the merchandise, that usually sells out, and if you don't get the throwback pack, I encourage you to get in there early. And then of course we have the autograph session that we do a little bit longer than normal, so we'll have the hour autograph session on track with those celebrity drivers, and then the full field of throwback, both super late models and late model stock. So fans really get down on the track and see these cars up close and meet and talk to these guys.
All right, man. Well, I'm excited about this weekend. Can't wait for the throwback race to take place. Before I cut you loose, is there anything else that I might have missed, or you think's of topic that we need to talk about?
Well, I think I think the trend for us will continue to be successful. I feel like we'll have another full field in both divisions. Possibly might have some great guys not making the show, but obviously want to thank Baker Distributing that are coming on board and making a corporate event. That's a national company that came on board and saw this race, and they've been involved with this in the past, but they were excited to be involved with this event. And like I said, I know there's a lot of people working a little extra hard to get their cars ready and get these paint schemes done and things like that. So, we're just really, really thankful for everybody pulling the rope in the same direction here, and hoping for a good race. And I think if we can get some good weather, and we'll have a good show and bring that value and show everybody that short track racing definitely isn't dead.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time, and I hope everybody heads out and checks you guys out this weekend.
All right. See you guys this weekend.
All right, buddy.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.